belongings. License E50.
You're listening to ESPN 95.3.
Good pick.
KERX Paris Fort Smith.
The drinking all day.
Bob Walker and its rowdy group on the Hog Pen welcome the number one team in the nation. The Longhorns under Jim Schlossnagel are rolling. They've won their last 10 off to one of the best starts in the storied history of Texas baseball.
Number one Texas, rolling out into Fayetteville. We're number one. We're the greatest in there is. We're the Texas Shorthorn, son.
The lefty did it again with a changeup. And Zach Root plants himself with 3 punchies in the first.
Bowles turns on it. A fly ball to deep left field. There it goes. Out of here.
I felt like once we got the lead, he continued to get better. He didn't, start nibbling and looking for strikeouts. He was just trying to get outs.
Zach Root just struck out 3 in a row, all looking.
The fans don't buy tickets to come watch me go 4 innings.
This ball is nailed to right. Aloy had to go to the base of the wall. He's going to bring in both runners. He goes to second with a double. Wu Ping Sui. They are 8-0.
Here's the next 3-2 pitch. He struck him out swinging. That's it. This one belongs to the Razorbacks. They have shut out the Texas Longhorns, the first team to shut Texas out this year.
And it's looking like Arkansas. It's fixing to make a run. At this thing, baby.
Live from the Busch Light Studios, this is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
So it's already Friday. You're in a good mood. And then that happens last night. Sometimes you forget because things occasionally go wrong here in Fayetteville with your sports programs from time to time. Sometimes it seems like it's forever. It's eternal. And then something like that happens last night where the number one team in the country that's won 10 straight games comes into your house and gets walloped. 9-0. Arkansas takes game 1. See what happens in these next couple games. But it is a beautiful, beautiful, even though it's a little dreary outside. I know the weather is not always indicative of how you feel. I feel like the opposite of how it looks outside this morning, Tom.
It's a How About Them Hogs Friday after a big one last night, brought to you by QC Kinetix. If that wind didn't relieve all your pain this morning, and I think a lot of you probably had a little extra adrenaline when your feet hit the floor this morning, see my friends at QC Kinetix. If you've got knee, back, hip, or shoulder pain that won't go away, and your orthopedic has told you, hey, we need to do surgery, we're going to give you more steroids and pain-killing medicines, and there's going to be downtime involved. Well, there's a better way with biologic therapies, with biologic growth factors from QC Kinetix with robust healing properties, carefully and strategically placed where you hurt the most. 479-999. Well, that's a good number from last night. 999-1234. 479-999-1234 for QC Kinetix. A 9-0 win for the Razorbacks last night. I thought for a while we were going to be done before dark.
Yeah, and I was wondering if Zach Root, I was listening to Bubba Carpenter talking about this, like you're kind of going back and forth. You want Root to get a complete game with an early inning like shutout, if again run rule, or do you want to see Will McIntyre, who we did see last night, come in? Irregardless of what happened, I mean, what a performance by your Arkansas baseball team. Coming off 3 straight SEC series losses, I can't sum it up any better than Dave Van Horn did last night.
Great job, Root. How the hell
Root. I mean, just unbelievable performance. So think about this kid. Fort Myers, Florida, Greenville, North Carolina, Fayetteville, Arkansas. Number one team in the country. His best start, not just as a Razorback. He's had some good starts this year. He's turned into year number one. That is his best start, career high in strikeouts, as a collegiate college pitcher in a moment that is not easy, not difficult. I mean, him and Cam Nicosia were talking about the atmosphere after the game.
There were so many fans here. I went to class this morning and I was driving at 7:30 and there's just tents. The line outside of the Hog Pen. It's just a fun atmosphere to play in. A lot of great fans. And Coach Hobbs came up to me and said, if you can't get up for this game, then I can't really help you out there. It's not every day you're going to pitch in front of 13,000 fans who know how big, not a lot of schools they hate more than Texas. So it was probably one of the funnest games I've been a part of.
Think about for for those two guys, like that didn't necessarily grow up here, or not necessarily didn't grow up here, and they get to experience something like last night. It's like, oh, this does. People weren't like, how some things are hyped up and they're overanalyzed and overthought of. Like when it comes to Arkansas and Texas playing that school inside the confines of your state, it's never over-exaggerated one bit. You and I were there last night, took it in. It was awesome. Had a great time before the game. Thanks to Robert, Elizabeth, Matt in the stadium shop, and then just during it. I mean, that's we got to remember, it's a weeknight. It's a Thursday night game, and it was still an incredible.
And it was a little bit of a late arriving crowd. I sat in section 111 and just looking around the ballpark and looking at the seats around me. There weren't many around us. Row in front of us, row behind us was fairly full. But by the second, third inning, I mean, it was full. So I think it's a little bit late arriving crowd, but there were, nearly 11,000 strong. 10,800 is what they announced last night. And, I'm not saying the fans didn't have plenty to cheer for, because the second, third, and fourth inning with runs and home runs, got the fans on their feet. But you sat back and you got to enjoy a gem of a pitching performance from Zach Root.
How about Carson Bowles getting it going last night?
The 1-1 pitch. Bowles turns on it. A fly ball to deep left field. There it goes. Out of here. Carson Bowles has homered, and the Hogs have the first 2 runs today.
Apparently, Tommy, his nickname?
We call him Uncle Blows.
Uncle Blows. One more time.
We call him Uncle Blows.
That's only his second home run of the year. That's the other thing. I was like, I saw it up on the scoreboard. I mean, I don't have his batting average in front of me. He has a good batting average, but I'm like, okay, just get on base or whatever. And then I see him send a moonshot. I was like, okay, well, this is how that's going to go. Got a chance to see Sterling and Brent last night. They were taking the game in on the third baseline. Hopefully, the weather, we get all of it out this morning, which that's what it looks like, and then smooth sailing the rest of the way.
Yeah, and I think I don't have a lot of concerns about the weather tonight. I do have the idea, and I think it's easy. It's easy for me. It's easy for you. It's easy for any of us to say, well, tonight's going to be like last night. Well, last night was all about one thing, and it was Zach Root, and so I shouldn't say one thing when I say and, right? It's about 2 things: Zach Root and getting staked to an early lead in that second, third, and fourth inning. So what a huge outcome for them last night.
All right, more baseball talk. We're going to hear more from Dave Van Horn and this Arkansas baseball team, Cam Kojal, and then also Zach Root, his performance last night. One of the things we didn't get to yesterday was the possibility of Boogie Flan landing and going to another SEC institution. I want to talk about that here in our opening drive.
They came up to me yesterday about Boogie, that he had good workouts and he's going to be able to practice. And they called the doctor, and the doctor said if he thinks he can go, let him get through practice, and I'm good. He wants to play. The greatest piece of it was Boogie saying to me, I don't want to screw them up.
This is the opening drive.
So Sean Calipari talking about Boogie Flan leading up to the NCAA tournament, which we know he played in and helped Arkansas get to that Sweet 16 game against the Texas Tech Raiders, which we all know they should have won. They should have been an Elite 8 team and having the opportunity to play Florida. Didn't happen that way. So Eric Fawcett, who covers the Gators for Gator Country, it's kind of funny. Eric does this out of Canada. I hadn't talked to him in a while, but last time I checked, he was still covering the Gators all the way from like Ontario or something. In a recent piece he wrote this week, it talks about Boogie Flan being a possibility to go to the Florida Gators. And he said at this point it needs to be said that Boogie Flan is really helping and trying to stay in the draft. Some mock drafts have him going to the late teens, and if that's the case, he'd likely stay in the draft. But if he thinks he might be picked in the second, then he can consider going back to college. Right now, there's a safe bet he does remain in the draft, but Florida is strongly in the mix for his services if he tries to go to college.
I'm hearing all of these conversations about $4 and $5 and $6 million for Boogie Flan. If that's reality, why would you not take your name out of the draft and sign with that school today? Because you're not going to be a lottery pick. That's lottery pick money. And if he's not going to be a lottery pick, why wouldn't you go take 4 or 5? If that's true, so that makes me wonder and be a little more of a skeptic about whether or not some of these stories I hate to call them reports because I think there's stories at this point of him getting, somewhere in the neighborhood of $5 million to play at Florida.
I don't. So
why? Tell me if it's a financial decision, why wouldn't you just pull your name out of the draft right now and sign the $5 million deal?
Because you always go to, well, just because I'll point out what you occasionally do. It's like just because a draft writer thinks that he's projected and that doesn't mean he's been told differently by an NBA.
But $5 million is lottery money. He's not going to be a lottery pick, right?
Unless something crazy would happen, yes.
And we talked about this earlier in the week. The 30th pick, the last pick of the first round, gets 2.7.
Yeah.
So
some guys just want.
I'm just trying to. I mean, to me, if the financials of it are one of the higher priorities, to me, this is what are we waiting on here? It tells me that Florida's not really offering $5 million.
Why is Zach calling me during the show?
Yeah, he loses track of time. He's old. Be nice to him. He's old.
Why? I think your question is why. I think some guys are just ready to get to that next stage of life, regardless if the money's similar. And I'm just trying to answer your question.
How old is Boogie Flan?
It's 18 or 19.
Okay,
but some guys want to move on. Some guys are. I'm just you asked the question. Right, I'm just telling you.
I'm just giving you answers.
Okay, like that's if he decides to do that, that's the case. And those mocks might not be right. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Just because someone has you that as a writer doesn't mean that's what NBA.
So are you saying everything you may hear, everything you may read, may not be accurate?
Yeah. Eric's report might not be entirely correct. I know that. Like, think about this. So they lost Walter Clayton Jr. and then they lost Denzel Aberdeen in Kentucky, who apparently got paid like $2.5 million to go there. So their starting point guard, their backup point guard are no longer there. They brought in that. He's an Ivy League kid. I think he's a Princeton kid. That's one of the guys they were able to get in. But they still need someone, and so maybe they would overpay. Maybe Todd Golden, Tommy, has his budget just went through the roof after that national championship, and they can afford to overpay people because they have the income and cash for NIL. I don't know if it's going to be a $20+ million like Kentucky might have, but that was, to me, and I know from an assist to turnover ratio, Boogie was, I think, the best freshman in the country and had one of the best teams in college basketball, but he just wasn't consistent shooting the basketball. Maybe he can get better, and I hope if anything, I hope he would here in Fayetteville, but it doesn't sound like that's going to happen.
Anywhere but Florida, right?
Yes.
Anywhere but Florida or Kentucky.
In this situation, I would hope if he stayed in college, I'd rather him go to St. John's than I would Florida because you're going to have to play him likely next year.
That's what I'm saying.
So it's an irritating issue that I think a lot of Arkansas fans are having to deal with if it ends up panning out. Hopefully he just moves on to the NBA, but something to just keep an eye on. I'm probably going to try and get on Eric next week to see if we can get any updates on that report and everything else. All right, that is your opening drive here this morning on a Fastball Friday.
And it's brought to you by Andy's Frozen Custards, Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, also in Conway on East Oak and Dave Ward Drive and JFK Boulevard in North Little Rock as well. At Andy's Frozen Custards, they got the perfect match for your sweet tooth, and you can find the six pack where you can mix and match 6 of your favorite flavors at Andy's Frozen Custards. Download the Andy's Frozen Custards app in your app store right now, and they'll have it ready for you when you get there. Walk up or drive through, they're ready to serve you at Andy's Frozen Custards, Fort Smith, Conway, and in North Little Rock.
John in Mountain Home texting in here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline saying a large factor for these kids is they don't want to come back and deal with classes and deal with work. I was ready to get out of school when I did, and I don't blame that text one bit.
Did even go a second semester, That's the other thing. How are you eligible to re-enroll? Where's he been the last 8 weeks? I don't know.
Sean the Fenceman's here. Sean, do you have a thought on this?
Well,
I saw you put up your hands.
Well, okay, so are these kids looking at this? So let's talk about injury. If he's going to go to the NBA, that's a long-term career, so he's got long-term potential to make better money over a longer term, correct? And so if he takes this money and goes to a college and gets hurt for the millions that you guys are saying, he's done.
Yeah.
So if you go to the NBA, you may take less, like you were saying. If he goes to the lottery, he takes less, but over the long term, he'll make more. So if it's about money, that's the better investment.
You think the better investment. And this is a guy that knows investments. This is a guy that knows investments, right. Tommy.
So, for me, all this is heartbreaking because I love college ball because kids go there to play for the love of the college. the love of your mascot.
They used
the love
to.
Of, now it's like pro. I mean, who are we paying for to play for us?
Yeah, sometimes it's better than pro.
So it's disheartening but I understand.
Agree with that part.
We still all want winning teams.
Yep.
We got to do what it takes to get it.
Well, we got some winning picks today. You got them lined up.
Man, I'm always a winner.
Okay.
There you go.
That's the
I like the attitude.
That's the mentality. Let's see if we won last week.
Ole Miss and Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt wins the series 2-1.
Vince Man?
Yes, Vanderbilt series 2-1.
Ole Miss
Well,
wins the series 2-1. A&M, the Aggies, and the Horns.
If the Aggies can take 2 out of the 3, I'll be super happy.
Texas going to lose all 3.
And I'm going to go with Texas winning 2 this weekend. Tennessee is at LSU. I'll take LSU sweeping Tennessee this weekend. Tough place
I was
to
saying
go win.
2 out of 3.
Yeah.
I think Tennessee wins the series. They win 2 out of the 3.
Clay, is this the year that Arkansas snaps that streak and gets a series win against Kevin O'Sullivan's Gators?
Yes, they win 2 of 3.
You going chomp chomp or woo pig, Sean?
Woo pig. They're going to sweep them all 3 games.
2 games for the Razorbacks this weekend.
All right, let's see if we can do better than last week. Let's see if we can respond after, like the Arkansas Razorbacks did last night in a 9-0 victory over the Texas Longhorns. All right, so we'll get to the games itself coming up. And Colton's in the other room. He's going to have a task this Friday night. How many times do we see a horns down gesture, flag, or hear a mention on the television broadcast, Tommy?
Oh, that may not be countable. Last night, if you just looked at the shirts that had horns down, hats that had horns down,
the flag,
my hands that had horns
the flags
down.
that were flying upside down.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
don't know how you count all that.
On the last, I think I watched. I ended up driving back and I saw the last, I think, 2 innings on television and was listening to Phil and Bubba. I counted in that stretch that was probably 20 minutes. I think I counted 7 times 9 innings. I'm going to say 61.
Yeah.
I mean, what it was like to play for one of the most, do I use the word hated college team?
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, no one likes the Horns besides an actual Horns fan.
It's become, with them getting the bigger brand of the SEC, Sean, it's even been expanded. Like, the SEC fans didn't understand. Like, they were excited to play Texas, but then they talked to A&M, they talked to Arkansas fans. It's like, oh, I see why you hate these guys. It's like a very, it's a kumbaya sense in that.
I'm just glad you had someone to drive you back so you could watch the game.
Huh?
You said you watched the game while you drove back. I'm glad you had someone to drive you so you could watch.
I said I listened to Phil and Bubba on the way, and then I got back and watched the last 2 innings.
Are you one of those
That's
guys?
not what he said.
He's probably
exactly what I said.
He props his phone up on the dash. You're one of those
I've
phone
done that.
guys.
I swear I didn't do that last
Whatever.
night. Legitimately. I watched the last 2 innings in my living room, and I listened to Phil and Bubba last night. I think I left after the 4th inning, whatever it was. All right, Tommy, how many?
I don't know. 106. Who's
Golly.
counting this? Who's going to know if we're right?
Colton has to.
We're going to make him count it? All right.
Lee.
I'm going to go with 42.
42. All right, 42, 61, and 106. Auburn plays Tennessee this weekend in Knoxville. Tommy, who takes this one? Tony Vitello's Vols. Auburn's had a pretty good team this year as well.
Tennessee's got to have a bounce-back weekend after LSU last week. Tennessee.
I was also, just thinking about what happened in Baton
Backs
Rouge
to the
last
wall a little
weekend.
bit.
I think Tennessee, and they're, again, coming to Arkansas here in 2 weeks after the LSU series you'll travel to next weekend.
I'm like you guys. Tennessee's fallen from glory, and they want to come back, so we're going to see some good ball.
I'm not used to seeing Alabama as good as they've been the last year or so, but they've got a top 25 squad. They're going to Vanderbilt this weekend in Nashville, Tennessee. Tommy, you taking Tim Corbin's Commodores, or are you taking the visiting team in the Alabama Crimson Tide?
Boy, that's a toss-up right there. I'll take the home team at Vanderbilt.
I'm going to take Alabama. I'm going to take the road team in this one to take 2 or 3 against the Doors.
I'm going to take the Doors, and the Doors are going to do 2 out of 3.
All right, last 2 games in this series. Again, Arkansas was the only SEC team on not just television last night, but that was playing. You took that game last night 9-0. Tommy, you've been talking about it early on in this show. not just next game, but the next 2 games you feel like are not going to be as easy against these Texas Longhorns.
Be lucky to split, and I'm going to go with that. They'll split the next 2.
I'm with you. I would be shocked if they split
I'm
this
tempted.
series.
I just don't want to be booed the rest of the show. I'm tempted to take Texas.
Pick Texas after last night. Yeah, I think tonight's probably going to go to Texas, and I think tomorrow, if Gackle doesn't play, I think you'll see him in an expanded role tomorrow afternoon, Sean. I think they'd win tomorrow's game rather than tonight's game.
I'm like you guys. I would love to see the Hogs go ahead and sweep this series. I think it'd just be amazing for our program. But Texas has been too strong this year. They're going to take one of the 2. I think they're going to take tonight's game because they're going to be angry. But I still think we'll win it 2-1.
Yeah.
2-1. We'll take it.
All right, that's your Fence Man Friday picks. It's going to be a little softer digging those holes out there today to put your 4x4s in after all that rain.
Man,
great time to be building a fence.
It's crazy. You can practically go out there and just shove it in the ground and just push it down, but that doesn't last very long if you do it that way.
Yeah. So, hey, 782-3936 is your number. I know I've been at your office several times in the last 2 or 3 weeks. The calls that are coming in, I see it on the board there about security fencing. And that can mean a variety of things. That doesn't mean razor wire and 10-foot high fences, but people want security at home and work.
Yes. We have even your privacy fencing, standard 6 foot tall, but if you go with an 8 foot tall fence, privacy, it's still a nice decorative fence, but it's tough for someone to crawl over an 8 foot tall fence. So we can do that. And your gates, we've done a fence for a lady who had all automatic or digital gates on her walk-in for her backyard. She was trying to keep the kids in and the bad guys out. So
there you go. 782-3936. Just because you say security doesn't mean it has to be ugly.
That's true.
And when you think about fencing, think about anything but standard or custom when you call the fence man. They can design and build anything for you to make your fence look unique in your neighborhood. 782-3936. And by the way, add value to your property as well. 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Thank you,
Pig, and have a good weekend.
I will. Y'all have a great one, too.
Hog Update coming up. We'll get a chance to hear from Dave Van Horn when we return.
Through kicks and deals, he struck him out swinging.
This is Fastball Friday on the Morning Rush. Presented by QC Kinetix. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
Largemouth bass will be spawning soon at ponds and lakes all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. One of the best lures to catch them on at this time is the famous Yum Dinger. We make them by the truckloads in Fort Smith in 3, 4, 5, and 6 inch sizes, and they are in tackle boxes of bass anglers all over the U.S. and all over the world. Wacky rigging the 5-inch model can't be beat for spawning bass. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Yum Dinger.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sportsbook in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
We're #1. We're the greatest that there is. We're the Texas Shorthorn, son.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're looking for the best used car your money can buy, check out our great selection of road-ready certified vehicles with warranty. If you're trading or selling your car, let us give you a free second opinion and leave with a check in your hand. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in the Meineke Car Care Center. Plus, follow us on Facebook for special offers and fun contests. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
I have enough trouble deciding what's for lunch. Imagine how stressed I was during the home buying process. Thankfully, Jeff Marks at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, took the reins.
That's right, Ty. Buying or selling a home is the biggest financial decision you'll ever make. I have years of experience and proven expertise that help guide you through the process.
All my female friends love my house. I'm not kidding either.
Trust me like Ty did to guide you through every step of the way. Call me, Jeff Marks, at 479-414-1193. Big decisions, simple solutions.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
The Golf Nut is thrilled to introduce new products for 2025, including Cobra Dark Speed Adapt Woods and Irons, Ping G440 Woods and Irons, and TaylorMade QI35 Woods. Lab putters, including the latest OZ model, are also available. Whether you want to improve your swing or enjoy the game, the Golf Nut offers a range of options. Book a lesson or fitting on one of our indoor simulators and experience golfing greatness. Visit the Golf Nut at 5121 Towson Avenue for your ultimate golfing destination.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jasco Graphics, now 17 years in the industry. How do people see what you've made over the years, Cecil?
Google or Yahoo it or Bing it. Jasco Graphics Design, JAAZCO, Monday through Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And sometimes I'm here after. So if that open sign is on, I'm here. Y'all come on in. Jasco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jasco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. The future of office printing is here with Xerox's Connect Key technology and cloud connectivity. Xerox offers seamless integration, top-notch security, and unmatched efficiency to help your business stay ahead. Don't miss out. Call us today at 783-6600 and ask about our special offer for a free Xerox color printer with many Xerox models. Dixie Digital Imaging, leading the way in office technology.
Hey, Ty Richardson at my favorite place, Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, 508 Garrison Avenue. And Cricket, we always talk about specials.
We do have awesome lunch specials Monday through Friday. We've got any small pizza for $7.99. You can also order a salad with it. Great in and out special for a quick lunch.
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world. Cricket, what do you think about Papa's Pub and Pizzeria?
I think it's the best darn pizza in Fort Smith and perhaps the world.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
There's only one Razorback.
Uncle Tommy loves the Razorbacks.
Razorback fans, let's stand up and call those.
107 down.
This one belongs to the Razorbacks. Ball's on the ground, picked up by Colin. Alex has got room.
Everybody, Woo Big Philly. This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
It's for whatever reason, we just promoted not being distracted and driving.
Mm-hmm.
I did not watch the game driving home.
Can someone pull the tape of what he said?
I listened to Phil Elson and Bubba Carpenter, including this call last night.
Here's the next 3-2 pitch. He struck him out swinging. That's it. This one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Because what happened, as I stated earlier, and then you twisted my words per usual.
No, I just repeated your words.
I listened to Phil and Bubba after basically the fourth inning, and then I got home and I watched the last
So why did you go to the game if you were going to leave after 4 innings?
Because I didn't feel well.
Oh.
Your hot dogs or brats or whatever, I wasn't going to bring that up, but they didn't, something in my stomach was...
Could have been the 9 beers you had.
I didn't have any alcohol. You watched me drink water and a Coke Zero yesterday
Yeah.
because I don't drink during the week. I don't understand how how hard that is. Hey, you got some confidence after that win last night. Dave Van Horn talked about it after the game.
We've been here before, so you still got work to do. It obviously relaxes you a little bit, maybe takes a little pressure off of you, but if you lose tomorrow night, you're even up going into game 3. So there's not a coach around to tell you, yeah, we'll go ahead and I don't care if I win game 1. It makes you feel a lot better. It gives you some confidence as well.
So you got several
house money, right?
Yeah. You got
little bit. I mean, you're not out of the woods, but you're not getting swept.
Nope. Not in this. And he mentioned, like he talked about, like, you just don't want to be in a situation where you win game 1 and then you drop games 2 and 3. So it'd be nice to just take care of business tonight, but it's easier said
Makes
than
Saturday puts all the pressure on Texas on Saturday if you win tonight.
So softball team also had some success yesterday. Congratulations to them. Courtney Day hits a homer.
See if she gets a pitch to hit. She does.
She one to left.
Out gone. Off the Kona ice truck. How about the 4th multi-run homer of the night for the Razorbacks?
They win that game 12-9 against the LSU Tigers. They're also, again, trying to take a takedown opponent. Texas being number 1. LSU, I think, is ranked 10th, if I remember that right. Bree Ellis hit her 25th of the season. She tied Braxton Burnside's record, 2021 from 4 years ago. So softball team, it's kind of you kind of got to make a decision tonight if you're in Fayetteville or you're going up to games, because one game's at 6, one game's at 7, and then tomorrow, I have this in front of me, the games tomorrow are 1 and 2. So maybe you watch either a little bit of softball and then go to baseball, or you just watch all softball. But either way, you're going to be in an
need to run a shuttle bus in between the
back
two.
And forth. Yeah, either way, you're going to be in an action-packed environment, either in Baum Walker.
Have you been to a game over at Bogle?
Man, I think that's the one venue on this campus that I have not been to.
I would like to go, but I mean, all you can find are berm seats, right? I mean, when you go to buy a ticket, and I don't know anyone with season tickets that you can bum a pair off of, or that offers you a pair. I've never been offered a pair of reserved seats for softball. I'd take my daughter and go. I mean, that couldn't tonight because I'm taking my son to the baseball game, but that's the one venue, one of the venues I hadn't been to, and been there or soccer.
I think I've been to tennis, I've been to swimming, basically every obscure sport outside the main, and I say obscure, the non-main 3 sports that we talk about here on a daily basis. I think I've been to every one of them except for that. Track and field, indoor, outdoor. So it needs to be crossed off the bucket list at some point in time.
They are worthy of more of us getting to see them. I don't know how you go about expanding that ballpark, but that's something that I think's got to be a conversation at some point.
That was I remember Courtney Deifel. I think she might have been on this program talking about it. I think her and Hunter Yurchek have had conversations about it at some point. All right, that is your Hog Update this morning. Brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8
Tell you what, I know all the Arkansas fans watching last night's game were happy, including our friend Larry Rath of Rath Auto Resources. Larry, what you think of that game last night, man?
I missed that game, but I've been catching up this morning. Sounds like Zach Root did a heck of a job, and the rest of the team supported him with some good run support and big win over number 1 team. That's awesome.
8 innings, 11 strikeouts. Yeah, he almost went all the way. Well, I know we got a lot of happy people here in the state. I know we got a lot of happy people that have left Rath Mitsubishi and Rath Auto Resources after talking with you and David and driving off with their favorite vehicle.
Oh, absolutely. We say all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath, and we think that's true. We sure try to make that true. We want to be a one-stop shop for you. If you're looking for a premium pre-owned car, road-ready certified, only available, Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. And we've got a big selection. We've been working hard to find just exactly the right cars, trucks, SUVs, vans, whatever our customers are looking for. Get them out here and make sure that live market value pricing takes care of the price. You literally cannot pay too much for a car at Rath Auto Resource in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. Our live market value pricing takes care of that. We make sure these cars represent a value against the live market every day. Plus, they got that warranty on them. You just can't beat them. Best used cars in River Valley, voted by our friends and customers. We really appreciate that. If you're looking for a used car, we'll take care of that. We also need to buy your car. If you're trying to sell a car, come in here for a free second opinion before you sell or trade your car to anybody else, and we'll take care of that for you, too. You can leave with cash in your hand. At the very least, we're going to keep everybody honest. If you need maintenance and repair, the Meineke Car Care Centers can certainly take care of that for you. If you're looking for a new car, the new Mitsubishi, they just announced some new incentives today, 2.9 for 60 months on brand new 25 Outlanders. We got a good selection of those. If you haven't seen a Mitsubishi in a while, come in and test drive today. Got a great lineup there and some great incentives to help you start driving better. So lots of terrific things. It's going to be a big weekend. Come see us. Rath Auto Resource in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. Check us out online, rathauto.com.
Kicking off May the right way. Larry, appreciate it, man. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good one. Go home.
Through kicks and deals, he struck him out swinging.
This is Fastball Friday on the Morning Rush. Presented by QC Kinetix. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
Designed by Jason Christie, the Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait doesn't just bring the fight, it dominates. Choose from 3 blade options: Colorado for maximum thump, Willow for bright flash, and the one the pros won't talk about, the Oklahoma blade. Perfectly balanced for subtle vibration, multiple flash points, and unmatched versatility. The Oklahoma blade is your secret weapon for pressured waters. Precision engineering, tournament proven, and one mission: dominate. Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait, here for one thing.
Taco Bell's all-white meat crispy chicken nuggets are back, but that doesn't make us a chicken place. I mean, yes, everyone loved them, like a lot. That's why we brought them back, along with our signature dipping sauces. But the crispy golden breading is actually tortilla chips, which is very taco place. So we're still a taco place. You think of us as a taco place, right? Who are we? No, I mean, we're good. It's just nuggets. Just crispy chicken nuggets, only at Taco Bell, your taco place. It's also a chicken place. It's also a taco place. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only, while supplies last. Contact store for availability.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
New drink is it's grapefruit tequila, because tequila is the healthier drinks, and I'm trying to get back in shape.
This is the Morning Rush.
The Golf Nut is thrilled to introduce new products for 2025, including Cobra Dark Speed Adapt Woods and Irons, Ping G440 Woods and Irons, and TaylorMade QI35 Woods. Lap putters, including the latest OZ model, are also available. Whether you want to improve your swing or enjoy the game, the Golf Nut offers a range of options. Book a lesson or fitting on one of our indoor simulators and experience golfing greatness. Visit the Golf Nut at 5121 Towson Avenue for your ultimate golfing destination.
Hey, Ty Richardson at my favorite place, Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, 508 Garrison Avenue. And Cricket, we always talk about specials.
We do have awesome lunch specials Monday through Friday. We've got any small pizza for $7.99. You can also order a salad with it. Great In-N-Out special for a quick lunch.
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world. Cricket, what do you think about Papa's Pub and Pizzeria?
I think it's the best darn pizza in Fort Smith and perhaps the world.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
Top CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050, COP CDL Academy.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
I have enough trouble deciding what's for lunch. Imagine how stressed I was during the home buying process. Thankfully, Jeff Marks at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, took the reins.
That's right, Ty. Buying or selling a home is the biggest financial decision you'll ever make. I have years of experience and proven expertise that help guide you through the process.
All my female friends love my house. I'm not kidding either.
Trust me like Ty did to guide you through every step of the way. Call me, Jeff Marks, at 479-414-1193. Big decisions, simple solutions.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at servicemasterpc.com.
Are you ready to indulge in an unforgettable fine dining experience? Then come join us at Uncorked, where every meal is a masterpiece, crafted with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds. And with our extensive selection of cocktails, wine, craft beer, and bourbons, we've got something for everyone. So why not take a break from the ordinary and join us on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's? Come savor the moment with us at Uncorked, where every visit is a celebration.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Social Morning Rush Daily Question.
All right, you men. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer to the best of your ability.
It's going to be a quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Check out Nate and Kristen's Place in Lowell online at carpatsocial.com.
How do you handle the pitching tonight? Gage Wood's going to start. Heard Phil talking about this last night, him and Bubba. Pitch count, 50, 60 pitches, something along those lines is what we're probably going to see out of Gage Wood. How do you handle middle relief? And I know some of that will be dependent on what the score is. But Bubba brought this up in the postgame last night. Do you bring Gackle in? Do you do what you got to do to win this game if you're in it in the middle innings? How do you handle the pitching tonight if you're Dave Van Horn and Matt Hobbs? If Wood gives you 60, let's just say 60 good pitches, get you through, let's just say that's 3 innings. That'd be 3 good innings of work. Mm-hmm. And let's just say it's a scoreless game going into the 4th.
Oof.
What?
Oof.
I mean, do you feel comfortable turning it to the bullpen at that point? How do you handle it? Because do you agree that Gage Wood's not going to be someone that goes? I mean, we're not going to see anything close to what we saw last night with Zach Root.
Yeah, just based on what.
I mean, just recovery from injury. All
went 3 innings last game.
60. Maybe you stretch that to 80 pitches. Let's say you get to the 4 innings. Then what do you do?
I don't think you bring in Gackle unless you're winning. And that includes being tied or down 1 run. That's a small wiggle room for error because I'm going to guess that Texas is going to pitch better tonight than they did last night, which I guess the first, 2, or did Bowles hit that? He hit that in the 2nd or 3rd. I can't remember.
He had second.
Okay.
Then,
so they had a really good first inning. I'm thinking, all right, this is about to be a pitcher's duel. It's about to be 1-0 or 2-1 at the end of this game. Turns out it's 9-0. It's obviously Dave Van Horn and Matt Hobbs' decision, but I don't know if I'd bring Gackle in if you're losing or tied tonight. But I get the philosophy. It's like, hey, let's just get the series win. Let's go for it. Let's
figure out game 3 later.
Risk it all. The TBA. I mean, you still have Bidle Sheets. I mean, heck, they could
bring him in instead of.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Another thing.
They could put that in a situation. I don't know who they would start tomorrow if that ended up being the case, but that is an area in a situation where it's
maybe Biocheese is the guy. Yeah, I mean, that's why I asked the question. How would you handle it? Gage Woods and Scott the Tortilla guy says Gage will throw 80 pitches, go 7. That's all we're going to need. I hope you're right, Scott. But if it's not, you text us your thoughts on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. How do you handle it? Because, last night was easy. Zach Root made it easy last night in your decisions. The only hard decision you had to make was, do you let him finish it off in the ninth at 99 pitches? And they chose to go to McIntyre, who did fine.
Dave Van Horn talked about it after the game. You've got a situation where you're going to need that inning in postseason. That's basically, I don't know if I clipped it out. I remember him saying it. It's like you need that in postseason.
Yeah, really, really, really good job by Zach Root tonight. Obviously, 8 innings, shutout, a very, very good baseball team. And, I felt like once we got the lead, he continued to get better. He didn't, start nibbling and working for strikeouts. He was just trying to get outs.
Hopefully they're just up big. Gagewood comes out and they can close it out with 1 or 2 more pitchers. That's wishful thinking potentially on my part, but we'll have to wait and see later on tonight. All right, that is your Cart Pass Social Morning Rush Daily Question. If you want a place to watch the game tonight and have some fun, you don't have tickets, then go to Cart Pass Social. 122 Grant Place in Lowell. You can play golf while you watch the game. They've got TVs everywhere. Christian Native done a great job with that facility at Cart Pass Social. I know they're excited for summer. Hey, it's been raining and stuff this week. Anytime it rains, anytime it's cold, wherever you're at, you can be in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas, North Central Arkansas, and you still want to play golf, Cart Pass Social is the place for you. Don't let your game slip because of the weather outside. CartPathSocial.com. It's always BYOB at Cart Path Social.
Well, the biggest horse racing event of the year is this weekend, and it's always the weekend a lot of people look forward to. It's the Kentucky Derby this weekend. Lang Whitman is with us now. It's brought to you by Brothers Roofing and Restoration. Lang, I know for a lot of fans, there's a lot of people listening that are perking their ears up a little bit more this morning. It's final weekend of live racing. It's the Kentucky Derby. A lot of people, this might be the only day of the year they really pay attention to horse racing.
Yeah, we have closing weekend at Oaklawn. There's 2 stakes races today, the Lake Hamilton and the Bachelor. There's 2.5 stakes races tomorrow. There's the Arkansas Breeders' Championship. There's the Lake Washita Stakes. And I call it a stakes race. If the race has a name, it's a stakes race to me. And that's the Trails End, the last race of the year, the 1 mile and 3/4 race. It's always great to see that race, but kind of sad, too, because we won't see any more horse racing at Oaklawn until December. But, yes, Kentucky Oaks Day is today. That is race 11, I believe, at Churchill Downs. And my top pick in that race today, tough to go against the favorite, number 11, Good Cheer, 6-5 on the morning line. 6 for 6 lifetime, has never lost, has never really faced tough competition. It won every race by 2 or more lengths. So, but there are a couple that I think that might can pose a threat today. Number 6, Ballerina de Oro, 10-1 on the morning line, has a chance. And also, Quiet Side, 8-1 on the morning line, a winner of the Honeybee and the Fantasy Stakes at Oaklawn this year. Number 14, Quiet Side, has a shot to win this race today. It'll be interesting to see the Oaks. And now we can talk about the Kentucky Derby.
All right, Ladies' Day today. Then I hate to use the word granddaddy of them all, but this is the horse race that everyone in the world will pay attention to. The Kentucky Derby tomorrow, the biggest field of the year. Who do you like in this 20-horse race?
I believe this is a race between 2 horses. There's some long shots that have a chance, but number 8, Journalism, 7-2 live on the live line right now. They have already taken some bets in on the Kentucky Derby. 7-2, 4 straight wins, the deserving favorite, the most likely winner of the race. But there is a 20-horse race. Journalism has raced in small fields all year with 5 horses being the opponents. So racing against 19 other horses could run into a little trouble. So therefore, maybe look at number 18, Sovereignty, 10-1 right now. The most likely winner to me if Journalism does not win. Other horses to look at with big odds. I love number 19, Chunk of Gold, at 30-1 right now as a horse that has a good shot to hit the board. Other ones to look at, number 7, Luxor Cafe, 13-1 right now in the morning line. And a horse that just got in the race yesterday, number 21, Bazea, 29-1. He just lost to journalism by 1 length in their last race, and you can get 7-2 on journalism, or right now 29-1 on Bazea. I might like the 29-1 to see if he can make up that 1 extra length to get the win.
So you can get Lang's picks for this weekend, and again, the closing weekend at Oaklawn Park. That you mentioned that Trails End race. I want to mention that's 1 3/4 miles. They come past the clubhouse twice, and that is unique for there as well. And I know the stands and things will be full tomorrow as we get to the Kentucky Derby. All right, so how would you put your ticket together tomorrow for the Kentucky Derby? Everybody's going to have 2 or 3 different bets. What's the best wagering strategy for the Derby tomorrow?
For me, I'm going to make obviously several bets, but here I'll take those 5 horses I just said: 8, 18, 19, 7, and 21. Those are the 5 numbers. I'm going to box those in an exacta and hope I can maybe beat the favorite with one of the long shots. And, I think journalism is going to be tough to hold out of the top 3 unless he has some traffic trouble. But even if he wins, if you run a 30-1 or a 29-1 second, there's so many horses, so much money in the pools. You're going to make your money back, plus some in the exactas. And then if you get lucky and get one of the long shots to win, maybe 2 of them to come in first and second, you're going to make a bundle. But that would be an over $1,000 exacta if 2 of those long shots come in on the ones I had. But also, what you can do, journalism, sovereignty, bet both of those to win with the long shot second and try to catch a long shot that way.
Noon post time at Oaklawn today and tomorrow. Tomorrow is the final day of racing. And like you mentioned, there are 5 different stakes races this weekend at Oaklawn, including that Trails End, which may not be a stakes race, but the Lake Washita and the Arkansas Breeders' Championship certainly are tomorrow. The Lake Hamilton and the Bachelor Stakes today. If you haven't downloaded the Oaklawn Anywhere app, do that now and use promo code RUSH25 to get your $150 sign-up bonus. And, hey, that's good. And you'll have picks at other tracks and other places throughout the rest of horse racing season leading up to the Breeders' Cup at the Railbird 333 to get your picks. And we even have a podcast on our network with with our buddy Scott Blair, and really going in-depth on the Kentucky Derby tomorrow.
Yeah, I speak about, I think, 5 horses in depth. One of them scratched just this morning. But yeah, check out the podcast.
Don't listen to that part.
Listen to me talk about the other 4 horses. And I also talk about why I don't like some horses as well. So it's interesting. It was fun. I'm glad Scott asked me to do that. And I'm glad y'all host that podcast here on the Morning Rush and Hit That Line.
Yeah, find that at hitthatline.com under our podcast. Lang, it's been another fun season. I guess we'll catch up with you maybe in some of the other legs of the Triple Crown, and good luck at the track this weekend.
Yeah, thank you, Tommy, for having me on for the 5th season here, you and Ty, ESPN Arkansas, the Morning Rush, Brothers Roofing for sponsoring this segment, and everybody listening that I have interacted with during this season. I appreciate it very much.
All right, and that's Lang Whitman at the Railbird 333 for all of his picks. Lang mentions Brothers Roofing, our friend Brother Alexander. He's been a little under the weather this week, and we hope he gets to feeling better soon. You can still call him at 479-353-3877. Brother and his team will be out to help you. If you've had all the heavy rains that presented some leaks and you're seeing some staining in your ceiling, the high winds that we've had, or maybe a tree branch has fallen on your roof and damaged your roofing complex, let Brothers Roofing come out and look it over, survey the damage, see if you've got hail damage, see if you've got wind damage, and then work with your insurance company to maximize your benefits. Boonville and Clarksville and Mena are all areas that recently have seen a pretty good amount of storm activity. 479-353-3877, 353-3877 for Brothers Roofing and Restoration. It's 9:53 here on the Morning Rush. It's a Fastball Friday. It's a Woo Pig Friday. It's a How About Them Hogs Friday, brought to you by QC Kinetix, the nation's leader in biologic growth factors, where they take their robust healing properties from your body and carefully and strategically place them in the joint where you hurt the most. Don't let back pain, knee pain, hip pain keep you from golf, going to the game, fishing, going to the track this weekend, all the things you love. You can get back to doing it with no drugs, no surgery, no downtime with QC Kinetix. 479-999-1234. 999-1234 for QC Kinetix.
Coach Norman O'Brien joins us next.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Largemouth bass will be spawning soon at ponds and lakes all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. One of the best lures to catch them on at this time is the famous Yum Dinger. We make them by the truckloads in Fort Smith in 3, 4, 5, and 6-inch sizes, and they are in tackle boxes of bass anglers all over the U.S. and all over the world. Wacky rigging the 5-inch model can't be beat for spawning bass. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Yum Dinger.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sportsbook in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're looking for the best used car your money can buy, check out our great selection of road-ready certified vehicles with warranty. If you're trading or selling your car, let us give you a free second opinion and leave with a check in your hand. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in the Meineke Car Care Center. Plus, follow us on Facebook for special offers and fun contests. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
This is Dusty Waymeyer with Forge and Fire Waterworks. I've spent 17 years in the pool and fireplace industry, and I'd love the opportunity to get your pool ready for the summer. Mark and Dream of Chris will vouch for me. They're ready for barbecue and outdoor lounging already.
Forged and Fire Waterworks gets a 5-star rating from the Chris.
We clean your filters free at every startup and closing. The standard opening is just $200. 479-551-4262. Forged and Fire Waterworks, setting a new standard in the pool and fireplace business.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Spring has arrived, bringing warmer days, road trips, and unpredictable spring showers. That's why it's the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart. From top quality tires to expert service at competitive prices, we'll make sure your vehicle is ready for all your spring adventures. Visit our Fort Smith location at 9700 Highway 271 and let us prepare your ride for whatever the season brings. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. Southern Tire Mart, we keep America rolling.
At Evans Body Shop, we take pride in delivering exceptional customer service to our customers. Here's what some of them have to say.
It was the kindness that got me. Then I witnessed their work.
And their customer service was just exceptional.
They are so kind and understanding.
and they let you feel like you don't need to worry about anything, especially dealing with the insurance company. That was great. And the repair work was tremendous.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
You looking to revamp your closet? Tired of wearing the same old stuff? Hey, Ty Richardson for Roback, one of our new partners here at ESPN Arkansas. Hoodies, joggers, polos, you name it, they have it. Thankfully, Roback is licensed by the University of Arkansas, so you can add to your Razorback collection. Here's the best part. Because you're an ESPN Arkansas listener, you're going to get 20% off your first order. Just use the code RUSH25 at roback.com. That's RHOBACK.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, showers, a chance of thunderstorms. Our high temperatures will be right around the upper 60s, north, mid 70s south. Showers, a chance of storms tonight. And overnight low will drop down to right around 50. And then Saturday, we could see a few isolated showers and storms, a high in the 60s to low 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
It's a lot of pressure on me sitting next to a wordsmith like you.
Walker and its rowdy group on the Hog Pen welcome the number one team in the nation. The Longhorns under Jim Schlossnagel are rolling. They've won their last 10, off to one of the best starts in the storied history of Texas baseball.
Number one Texas, rolling up in the Bakersfield. We're number one. We're the greatest in there is. We're the Texas Shorthorn, son.
The lefty did it again with a changeup. And Zach Root plants himself with 3 punchies in the first.
Bull turns on it. A fly ball to deep left field. There it goes. Out of here.
I felt like once we got the lead, he continued to get better. He didn't, start nibbling and looking for strikeouts. He was just trying to get outs.
Zach Root just struck out 3 in a row, all looking.
The fans don't buy tickets to come watch me go 4 innings.
This ball is nailed to right. Aloy had to go to the base of the wall. He's going to bring in both runners. He goes to second with a double. Wu Ping Sui. They are up 8-0.
Here's the next 3-2 pitch. He struck him out swinging. That's it. This one belongs to the Razorbacks. They have shut out the Texas Longhorns, the first team to shut Texas out this year. And it's looking like Arkansas. It's fixing to make a run. At this thing, baby.
Live from the Busch Light Studios, this is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Saw 'em off, baby. Just saw 'em off.
Oh, man. What a win last night. Hopefully we see something similar one of these next 2 nights, if not both of these next 2 days. Welcome in hour 2 of The Morning Rush. I know Coach Norm DeBryan was happy about last night. Coach set to join us here momentarily on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. It is a Fastball Friday brought to you by QC Kinetix. Zach Root was throwing some fastballs last night.
Great job, Root. How the hell man.
Now, the marketing team has a great opportunity here. They should do something with Guardians of the Galaxy and I Am Group, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully, again, we see something similar tonight. Later on in Baum-Walker Stadium.
Career-defining performance, or at least a season-defining performance for Zach Root last night. And we talked about quality starts. I don't know, quality starts are 6 innings and giving up 3 runs. This goes well beyond what you define as a quality start.
You want to ingratiate yourself to the Arkansas fan base, who some of them are still unfamiliar with you because they're just now tuning into baseball. You do what you did last night, young man. And I say young man, he's probably 22 or whatever, but that's what
makes
you
him
do.
a young man.
Yeah, that's what you do. Well, that is young man technically.
Yeah. Hey, for over 8 years, QC Kinetix has been the nation's leader in non-surgical relief for joint pain. In fact, they have treated over 50,000 satisfied patients. Why don't you become next? All right. People with knee and back pain now living pain-free, shoulder and hip pain, it's gone. And what they're doing is nothing short of miraculous. It's been remarkable. They're using regenerative cell therapy to restore the tissue in your achy joints. So if arthritic pain, joint injury has caused you setbacks, and you just can't get back even close to 100%, and surgery is your only option right now, before you go under the knife, see our friends at QC Kinetix. 479-999-1234. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime with QC Kinetix. 999-1234 for QC Kinetix.
So our next guest took over the Arkansas baseball program back when he was 28 years old. 2 Southwest Conference titles, 15 double NCAA tournament appearances, and it's been named the SEC and Southwest Coach of the Year several times. Top 30 in all-time wins in the NCAA history of baseball, and he gets his own intro this morning.
The baseball coach left in the fall of '69, and I thought I would possibly get the job. I wanted to coach baseball, but I didn't. Another person was hired, and after one day, that person decided that he did not want to take it. And I'll never forget George Cole. I was called back into his office, and he showed me a manila envelope, and he said, DeBryan, if you don't mind being second fiddle, we'll give you the job.
And defensively for the Razorbacks, Dan Campbell in left, Rod Moore, the center fielder, over in right, Scott Pose. At third base, Dan Thomas. Mike Fisco is the shortstop. Kelly Zane at second. Jim Kramer's over at first base. Andy Steele does the catching, and on the mound, the big left-hander, John Sivahar, 6'3", 210, 11-1 on the year. Good fastball, curveball, and occasional change.
This is Norm DeBryan, and you're listening to the Morning Rush.
Coach, thanks for making some time with us this morning. How was last night for you?
It was good. I really enjoyed that, everything about it. You know, I talked to a bunch of scouts before the game, and as they were watching, preparing, and evaluating and so forth on players, just had a good feeling going into the weekend. And then after talking to them, they said Texas lost their number one pitcher for the year, and their best hitter broke his thumb, I think, in the A&M series. I feel good even without that, because Arkansas has had their share of injuries also. So it is what it is, And Coach Van Horn has been so successful against them. I think his record was like 18-11 going into last night. So all good stuff.
Coach, you've got a busy schedule today. You're showing your 1985 team just around the facilities, get a chance for them to take in what they helped build. What is that like when you get to welcome and bring a former team back into town with all these new facilities and all this stuff that they partially helped build?
Yeah, that's a great point. They laid a foundation. I mean, the 85 team was a really good club, and looking forward to seeing a lot of those guys that I haven't seen in years. And it was unfortunate. We had a golf tournament this morning that, was canceled because of the weather. But it looks like the weather's going to be okay for the game tonight. But, we got some stuff this afternoon where we're meeting and going over some things. And, they were really good. They were really a good club. Kind of unusual in college baseball. 5 of our 9 starters were black. They were all from Arkansas. And, we developed. I mean, they got better. And by the time they were juniors was in 85 when we held and won the Southwest Conference tournament. First time it was ever held in Fayetteville. And, I think we finished 3rd in the country that year. Michael Loggins, our center fielder, we lost him for the World Series. That didn't help anything, but, it was a great season. It really was.
The great Norm DeBryan with us on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Arkansas's been on a series skid here, losing the last 3. What in your experience can a win like last night do to turn things around for the final 3 weekends of the regular season?
Well, I think, college baseball, like college basketball, I remember John Calipari telling me that, when he first got into this thing, he said, there were 2 or 3 teams that were pretty good. He said this year, and this was back in November or whatever, he said everybody is good. And that's the way I look at college baseball. I mean, everybody in the SEC is so good that, now with the win last night, hopefully Arkansas can be playing good at the right time. And I think talent-wise, we're good enough to get there. And so hopefully you're playing good and you get hot at the right time, and it looks like that might happen.
How would Norm DeBryan have dealt with today's NIL and transfer portal world if that was something that you had to deal with in your coaching career? What are your thoughts on it, and what would your approach be?
Boy, it just I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I'm kind of like Bennett from Virginia. I feel like I'd be a round peg in a square hole. It bothers you. This pay for play. I mean, that's what it is, and hopefully they'll get boundaries and they will have restrictions and they'll have contracts that tie some of these things down. But boy, it's just a wild west right now. It's I don't think it's good for the sport, and this is the world we live in, and this is what they're dealing with. I think Dave Van Horn really deals with it well. I don't think I would deal with it very well at all.
One of the real positives for baseball, though, that it has come of all the change is the going beyond the 11.7 scholarships, and now you have full scholarship roster spots for baseball, which is something you never got to enjoy.
No, that's true, and that's a good point. Because the players deserve that. So that is good. I like the roster size that they're going to implement next year also, and the scholarships, whatever the SEC is going to give. I think it can be either 34 or unlimited or something. I mean, it'll be a far cry from the 11.7. So that's good stuff right there.
Coach Norm DeBryan with us here on the Lewis Automotive Group Hotline. Coach, you referred to Dave Van Horn as Coach Dave Van Horn a couple of times. I wonder if you could maybe remember that exact moment. Maybe there wasn't exact, but when did you feel like that he was going to eventually succeed you and be the head coach here at Arkansas?
Well, we've been close all the while. Even, after he signed professionally and left here, I remember not wanting him to leave his junior year, but he was drafted, and I can't blame him, and when he got done, he came to me and he said, he wasn't sure what was going on. I said, well, Dave, you need to get your degree, and we can keep you as a graduate assistant. And we did that, and he stayed with us for 4 years. In fact, that 85 team, he worked with the infield and did a great job with Richardson and Roby, our middle infielders. And, I could tell. I would take him on the road recruiting, and I would quiz him, when we would leave, like, who was the best player you saw today in that tournament or whatever. And he'd be right on. And I'm thinking, this guy is really good. And Dave has proved that. I mean, he can make hard decisions. He's a great evaluator. He sees the game as the total concept of baseball, pitching, hitting, defense, the whole thing. And so he's really, and he's jumped through all the hoops. I remember when he went to Dallas, like a non-scholarship Division III, and then I got a call from the athletic director at Texarkana and recommended Dave, and he went there and just turned Texarkana junior college baseball around, and then got the job at, I think he went to Central Missouri, won a national championship, Natchitoches and Nebraska, did things at Nebraska that had never been done before, including going to the College World Series. So he was a guy, and I continued to introduce him to Frank Broyles. And I remember Coach told me one time, he has won wherever he's gone. And I said, yeah, that's what I've been trying to tell you. So it was all good.
I love listening to you talk about your conversation when you were hired here, Coach, with George Cole, just the dynamics of that. What is that process like when, whether it's you talking about Coach Van Horn and you trying to push him on Coach Broyles, or obviously you back in the day. There's been a few years between then, but what does that look like?
Well, it was, George Cole hired me, and yet Frank Broyles was kind of overseeing a lot of things, and then Coach Broyles became the athletic director, and he was a visionary, and he was a guy that let things run off of him. I remember one time we were at George Cole Field, and the pad between the turf and the asphalt had just disintegrated over the years of use, and the black was coming up into the turf, the oil from the asphalt, and people would ask me, what are all those black stripes? And I remember Texas came in, and Cliff Gustafson, the Texas coach, said, Norm, he said, I don't want to play on this field. He said, I'm going to get my third baseman killed. It's like playing on concrete. And he was right. And so we were fortunate enough to win a conference championship. This was in '85 when Cliff told me that. In '89, we won our first Southwest Conference championship. And I went public. I said, we got to improve our facilities if we're going to try to compete on a national level. And Coach Broyles comes into my office later that afternoon. He says, so you're going public with your problems, huh? And one thing led to another. He said, I've been a football coach all my life, and if I don't like the football stadium, I'll find another one. He walked out the door, and I thought, boy, I've done it now. But typical coach, I was going to go in and apologize to him, and 2 days later, he was out of town, so he wasn't there when I went in to apologize. And a couple of days later, he looks down the hall, and he said, Noam, how's recruiting going? It was like it didn't happen. He forgot about it. And, the same things with Baum Stadium. I had a lot of input in the construction of Baum Walker Stadium. And we had green seats. And he called me in, and Coach Broyles didn't call me in a lot. I go in there, and he said, Norm, what's our color? And I thought, oh, boy. And he said, what? And the seats were being put in at the time, the green seats. And I said, well, Coach, I said, baseball is green. And what's our color? And I said, green doesn't fade. And he says, what's our color? He said, I got to do this when I drive by it. He put his hand next to his face like, I can't look at it, But then he got over it, and everything was fine. Although I do know that the softball field has red seats.
Oh. But they'll fade.
But he was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But talking about the stadium, Coach, they're celebrating the 30th year of Baum Walker, which is that in and of itself is hard to believe. But you just think about where that facility began and what it looks like today. What an incredible evolution over the last 30 years.
Yeah, and that's a great point. I mean, Frank Broyles, being the visionary he is, did a lot of things at Baum Walker that make it as good as it is, like no cross aisles and big concourses and stuff like that. And then, when we began, and then when Dave Van Horn took over, the way he has elevated the program and to where it is today with the additions of the expansion of the stadium itself and the addition more skybox suites, and we've got a waiting list that just won't quit, of people that want skyboxes, and it's just it's a thing it's a thing to do right now. Everybody wants to go to a Razorback baseball game. I got calls. This weekend. It's incredible, and so. I think I know that is a tribute to Dave Van Horn and his staff and players and what they've done with this program.
One of the many tributes to you is beyond the center field wall and what has become known as Lake Norm. Where did that begin, and have you ever fished in Lake Norm?
No, I saw some ducks out there a couple of times, and I would drive by and I duck on it a lot, and I was tempted, but I didn't do anything. But when they start fishing, the recent players that started fishing there, And Kojal, for example, because he asked me to bless his bat and his gloves, he knew I was a deacon in the Catholic Church and he's Catholic. And so anyway, I did that, and we did that in the clubhouse, and that, got out, and people talked about that a little bit. But I told Johnny Mike Walker that they love to fish. And so one afternoon after this thing about fishing at Lake Norm, we went out to Walker's ranch, and he's got 3 big ponds, and I've got pictures. The players went out there that afternoon, and Johnny Mike was out there and showed them, just close the gates because of his horses and stuff like that. But they had a great time, so they got a great place to fish now.
Well, Coach, I think the blessing worked on his bat because I think he sent one into your lake last night. Cam did. It was a great start to hopefully a great finish for this series. I know you got to run. You've got duties to attend to. Yeah. We appreciate you joining us this morning, Coach.
Well, thank you. Appreciate you, Ty and Tommy. We'll stay in touch. Thanks a lot.
All right. The great Norm DeBryan with us here. And hard to still believe that you've got a baseball program that's had 2 head coaches from 1970 to the current time. You just think, stop and let me say that again. This program has only had 2 head coaches, Norm DeBryan and Dave Van Horn, since 1970.
He took over as the head of Arkansas baseball 2 years before.
They played at the fairgrounds when he started.
Yeah, 28 years old. Pretty remarkable.
Pretty remarkable. Yeah, unbelievable. So always great. I got a chance in one of the Razorback Club tournaments years ago to be paired with Norm DeBryan, and it was something special to spend 4 hours with him and 18 holes. It was
I think one of the things that stands out
quite a day for me.
Yeah, that conversation outside the duck comment, which was pretty funny, is just how happy he is at, as he calls him, Coach Dave Van Horn's success. He didn't call him Dave. It's just you can tell that's a guy that is so enthused about one of his former players and where he's taken this baseball program today.
I wish we had time to ask him Scott Tabor's story. Scott Tabor's got great Norm DeBryan stories, so I bet we'll save that conversation for another day. Hey, if you're looking for a way to get your favorite lures in your tackle box, go to lurenet.com. Everything made by Pradco is there. In fact, you'll find exclusive deals with the Rebel, Yum, Booyah, and other brands like Bobby Garland that you maybe won't find anywhere else, and baits you won't find on the shelf in your local favorite stores that are maybe elsewhere as well. So they have free shipping on all U.S. orders over $35. So treat yourself and your buddies to some tackle box treasures. Maybe you can sneak into Lake Norm out there and do some fishing. Check it all out at lurenet.com. That's lurenet.com.
All right, when we return, SEC update. I want to talk more about this Boogie Flan report and just what could happen with that moving forward. It's a Fast Break Friday brought to you by QC Kinetix. Great interview with Norm Bryan. If you missed it, it'll be in the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. We continue on next.
Through kicks and deals, he struck him out swinging.
This is Fastball Friday on the Morning Rush. Presented by QC Kinetix. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on Green Bay's team. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is the Morning Rush.
The nation is going to be talking about Arkansas.
Hey, it's Matt Jones. Join me, Phil, and Dr. Charles Liggett every Monday at 12:15 for my favorite segment, 3 Up, 3 Down.
McLean Moody will throw one of those games, and he's a Arkansas commit, has looked really good this year, and it's going to be really tough. Matt and I are both Northside alumni.
Visit rivervalleysmiles.com or give them a call at 479-646-0706. That's River Valley Smile Center. When you come here, you become family.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Top CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050. COP CDL Academy.
Spring has arrived, bringing warmer days, road trips, and unpredictable spring showers. That's why it's the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart. From top quality tires to expert service at competitive prices, we'll make sure your vehicle is ready for all your spring adventures. Visit our Fort Smith location at 9700 Highway 271 and let us prepare your ride for whatever the season brings. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. Southern Tire Mart, we keep America rolling.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at servicemasterpc.com.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest. He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What you call me?
A meal for 2 for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The SEC is the best conference in America.
The tough will survive in this game, and I feel like the SEC is the toughest.
Arkansas is the SEC champion.
You know, every game is a dogfight.
We're about the toughest there is. Week in and week out, you're going to play some of the best, the biggest, the fastest.
The Hawks have finally climbed the hill. It's the first SEC tournament championship for Arkansas.
Where opponents' dreams come to die.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
All right, I think we did an okay job with that. Coach O'Brien did most of the heavy lifting. The reason I say that is because Bubba Carpenter, Tommy's listening. He said, great interview with Coach D. He's still the best, one of his former players here at the University of Arkansas. That was awesome. He's just very, very entertaining and has so many stories as you heard with Coach Broyles and baseball back in the day. All right, let's roll into your SEC update here this morning. Boogie Flan reportedly interested, or I should say vice versa, Florida interested in Boogie Flan right now, that they're in the mix, according to Eric Fawcett of Gator Country. You were talking about, I haven't seen, and Bo's not going to throw out a number unless he has it on good authority. I've been looking, and I haven't seen that figure range, that $4 to $5 million. Either way, for a guy that's maybe late first round, which the 30th pick, $2.7 million versus
Lot
maybe
value.
$4 to $5 million with the Florida Gators potentially, if that is indeed a correct and factual report.
Well, Kentucky's touting that they got $20 million to spend on their basketball roster.
Yeah.
If that's true, I don't know what Florida, being the national champion, is willing to spend on theirs. Kentucky probably doesn't have the pressure to spend in football out of rev sharing the way that Florida is going to have pressure to spend on football. So I would doubt Florida's going to spend anywhere probably north of 10, but south of 20. I don't think anyone's probably going to spend as much as Kentucky's going to try to spend. But, man, if the numbers are true, it makes me wonder, because $4 or $5 million is lottery pick money. That's where's that slot? Where would that slot in, Colton? 4 or 5, probably
a lot closer than the bottom, which is where Boogie's
trying
to be picked right now.
Why wouldn't you? If that's true, and I question the validity of that strong a number, if it's about money, and I think we always think it's all about money. It's not always about money. Why wouldn't you remove your name from the draft and sign that deal immediately? Because he's not going to be a draft pick. He's not going to be a lottery pick.
I think it's just leverage. We mentioned was it June 15th, the number I said? I don't have the sheet with me anymore, but I think they have
June, that sounds right.
June 15th to make a decision. So
they got a while.
They're not hard pressed for time. You got all this time to leverage.
Yeah, but your leverage goes away if that school signs another player.
Yeah, no, you're right on that. But
that leverage goes away if you get injured in a workout.
I think
your leverage can evaporate at no wrongdoing of your own.
Yeah, like that. And there are some highly capable players, including Boogie in the transfer portal, that have had success in college. And Boogie, compared to some, is not as it's not as vast. Not just the amount of days played, but just the amount of points, rebounds, whatever.
His ceiling may be higher, but his current development is lower. He's 18, 19, whatever he is. As Matt Jones would say, he's just a baby. But his ceiling is what you would be paying for.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in a spot, and I don't know who all's coming back and where Florida's at with point guard, and that's probably part of the deal at Arkansas. If Wagner's going to be the point guard, he wants to be a point guard. It's kind of like quarterbacks. There's only room for one, really. And I would imagine his pro prospects are touch limited, missing 17 games this last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Something to
and
keep.
17 of the hardest games you played.
Baseball-wise, Arkansas, again, gets a 9-0 victory over the Texas Longhorns. Good thing. Got to rest some arms.
For us to get a good start like that was big just mentally for our team, and obviously for resting some arms to get ready for tomorrow and Saturday.
Root goes 8 innings, career-high 11 strikeouts, was phenomenal last night. Arkansas now, 15-7 in the league. Texas 19-3. I know you were talking about the potential of Texas winning and potentially closing out the SEC standings, depending on what shook out. But
that also depends on what happens with LSU,
which you play next weekend.
But they were up 5 going into the last 9. Now they're up 4 going in the last 8. Mathematically, if they won the next 2, they would be 6 games up on the Hogs with a series tiebreaker. Now, this doesn't factor LSU into the equation. If LSU sweeps, what I'm saying, doesn't hold water as far as clinching the conference. But they would have a stranglehold on it. They'd be in the driver's seat and blowing the horn if they won the next 2.
Yeah, that's it.
They're not going to lose the regular season title if they win tonight and tomorrow. So it's a big weekend. All right, that's your SEC updates brought to you by Mock Legal Solutions, now with a location in Sallisaw to go along with their location in Fort Smith. This is a growing law firm with plenty of experience to put to work for you, whether it's a car wreck, slip and fall case, divorce or family law matter, dog bite cases. Jackie's got over 13 years of experience dealing with insurance companies and making sure you get the right amount for whatever the situation you've been in, whether it's a wreck check or a work accident. Jackie's there for you. And they also understand that, hey, times aren't the easiest they've ever been right now. So They're not going to ask you for a $5,000 retainer and then more money down the road. They're going to offer you a flat fee, low down payments, and payment plans that work for you. Go to mocklegalsolutions.com. That's mocklegalsolutions.com or call 769-1505.
All right, so Colton Little is a happy man this morning.
Gotta wait till the end. Brunson puts up a three. Bang! Bang! Jalen Brunson hits the three with 4.3 remaining.
The New York Knicks beat the Detroit Pistons last night in 6 games, advancing to the Eastern Conference semifinals against their hated rival, the Boston Celtics. So the softball team won, the basketball team won, and Colton, your NBA team won.
That's
as
right.
well.
That's right. Go Knicks, baby. And I don't care what anybody says. The double bang is one of the best calls in all of sports. It's cool if you hate it, you're a hater. Bang, bang, baby. Jalen Brunson.
I've always really enjoyed Mike Breen. I know his broadcast partner and New York Knicks legend, Walt Clyde Frazier, is done after this next playoff game, or maybe it was last night. I think he had one left. So I know he's bummed about that.
I remember when Breen used to do the sports report on the late Don Imus's show 30 years. It's almost been 30 years ago when and I'd listen to that when I lived in Russellville.
He's good.
He's real good.
So you've got a couple games. You've got the Clippers and the the Clippers and the Nuggets tomorrow night on TNT, and then the Rockets and the Warriors. Warriors up 3-2 tonight, and the Clippers Nuggets games 3-3, and then they'll move on to the semifinals as well, hoping the Thunder can keep advancing and whatnot. It was again a fun weekend in Fayetteville, and sports-wise, we've talked about baseball, we've talked about softball, we talked a little bit about Kentucky Derby. Let's just go back to last year and that epic finish with Mystic Dan and everything that happened there.
Resilience has now moved up to take the lead as Christmas is given way, coming by the 16th hole, and Mystic Dan is now down toward the inside. It is Mystic Dan down toward the inside with the lead in the final 16th. Forever Young, Sierra Leone is coming. These three coming down the wire. Who's it going to be? Oh, it's a photo of the Derby. Oh, it's a photo. Was it Mystic Dan? Or was it Sierra Leone? Forever Young was between them. Catching freedom. Finish fourth. A photo finish to decide the 150th Kentucky Derby.
I know you said granddaddy of all ball, which we talked about the Rose Bowl, but I mean, there's sporting-wise, there's no sporting event that is as tightly packed and condensed in craziness than the Kentucky Derby.
The Super Bowl, the world stops to a degree, but I think the Kentucky Derby, because of the worldwide interest in horse racing, is one that in Europe, in the Middle East, in Asia, North America, South America. There's horse racing all around the globe.
Mm-hmm.
Probably every continent except the South Pole, right? So Antarctica is probably the only place they don't have horse racing on that continent. So, the world will stop to see what happens at the Kentucky Derby. So, it's huge. And listen, when you put that ticket together, man, I got this figured out. This is the superfecta. This is the 10-cent superfecta. I've got 40 of them, but this right here is the one.
This one's the one.
We all do that, and then somehow none of them cash.
It's a little before.
We always leave at one horse out that wrecks the whole party.
Here's what would be incredible tomorrow night. You're either watching the game on television, you're listening on most of these ESPN Arkansas stations, hitthatline.com, or Hit That Line Now app powered by Taco Bell. Or you're at Baumwalker Stadium. The game concludes. Arkansas is not just won, but swept the series. You're walking outside, or you're still at home, and then you get to take in the Kentucky Derby.
Those should work well. The game starts at 2,
mm-hmm.
So game's over by 5. I think post times it's after 5, so it should be.
It's 5:57, right before 6.
Ought to be fine with that. So, I was talking to our buddy Scott Blair last night. He was in French Lick, Indiana, and headed to the Kentucky Derby tomorrow. So it's going to be. What
was he doing? Was he playing golf at the French
Lick resort? He was at one of the resorts, but he was going to go from there to the Derby. It's not very far away. Hey, finding the right financing option to remodel your current home or build a brand new one is easier than ever when you stop by one of Farm Credit of Western Arkansas's 25 locations and let their experts guide you from start to finish on what is the best options for you and your family. Go to myaglender.com. That's myaglender.com and see all the financing options they offer from Farm Credit of Western Arkansas, making dreams come true for more than 100 years.
I did have this question that I was pondering last night. You've done basketball. You've done football. Do you ever ump any games? Or
Nope.
Not at all?
None. None. No interest.
No interest. Why? Just not as intense as baseball?
Oh, no. I think it's just as intense. It's just you got to have an off season. Got to see my wife and kids at some point.
Okay.
And I used to, when I first started officiating, there was plenty of basketball to do from March and April all the way through the summer with camps and with AAU and with MAYB and all. You could work every weekend if that's what you wanted to do. And back then I did because I needed the money, just to make ends meet and come together. But that'd make an old man out of you fast. So got to have an off season.
That makes sense.
Can't do that stuff.
Are you going to make any money this season on the Kentucky Derby?
Well, I don't know. I'd like to.
Did you bet?
I haven't. I've probably been more disconnected from horse racing this year than any year in my life. So, I'm going to get Lang's picks tomorrow, and I'm probably going to put some of those in play. I don't think there's been very many years I at least didn't have a bet multiple bets in on the Kentucky Derby. So, I bet I play golf tomorrow and figure out a way to bet the Kentucky Derby.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Early as
That's why I've got that Oaklawn Anywhere app. Put that to use.
There you go.
Tomorrow. So, hey, I think you mentioned your plans. Get to Gaston's. Do you a half-day fishing trip tomorrow? This would be a perfect setup. If you're going to Gaston's, stay the night tonight. Get up, have a good breakfast. Get down to the dock, fish with one of their guides till noon. Go in, have a good lunch. Watch the baseball game at 2. Kentucky Derby, then sashay down to the restaurant, have your big old prime rib or a ribeye tomorrow night at Gaston's. Now, wouldn't that be a full day? Can you think of a much better agenda than that?
Load it up.
That's a full day right there. That's the kind of time you can have at Gaston's. 870-431-5202. I don't know if they're full for this weekend. You might call and say, hey, Kraft was talking about this deal where you can come over there and fish. And I don't know, they may be able to fix you up for tomorrow. That'd be a full day. Half day fishing, 8 to noon. Watch the Hogs at 2. Kentucky Derby 5:30. Steak time about 6:15. It'd be what a day. 870-431-5202. But seriously, plan your summer getaway. Plan a weekend getaway. Maybe it's a birthday or an anniversary coming up. Gaston's has 80 private cabins and lodges that are ideal for you and your family to get that summer getaway. I know school's about 3 full weeks from being out. That means they got about 4 more days of actually doing anything at school, but that's a whole other conversation. 870-431-5202. Gaston's White River Resort. A first-class time every time.
Through kicks and deals, he struck him out swinging.
This is Fastball Friday on the Morning Rush. Presented by QC Kinetix. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
Evan Cohen here. When the draft clock is ticking, you've got to pick the best talent, regardless of position, to fit your team's needs. Well, if you're hiring for your business, you want to find the best talent for any of your roles. That's why you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful technology hustles to find qualified candidates for your job immediately. And if you see a standout candidate, ZipRecruiter lets you personally invite them to apply. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/USL. That's ZipRecruiter.com/USL.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hudson Clark with his 5th career interception.
Are you ready to indulge in an unforgettable fine dining experience? Then come join us at Uncorked, where every meal is a masterpiece, crafted with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds. And with our extensive selection of cocktails, wine, craft beer, and bourbons, we've got something for everyone. So why not take a break from the ordinary and join us on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's? Come savor the moment with us at Uncorked, where every visit is a celebration.
Since 1992, the Inn at the Mill has welcomed guests to experience the most unique place to stay when visiting Northwest Arkansas. Centrally located at the Johnson exit off I-49, the Inn at the Mill has established a rich tradition of comfort, convenience, and value. Whether it's the big game, business travel, a trip to Crystal Bridges, or a weekend getaway that brings you to Northwest Arkansas, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious room with ample space to spread out. And when I'm there on business, I appreciate the fast, free internet to keep me connected to work. and the laid-back European-style breakfast to start the day. Experience unique and different at the Inn at the Mill, just off I-49 at the Johnson exit. Call 479-443-1800 to make your reservation. That's 479-443-1800 or visit inatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
Spring has arrived, bringing warmer days, road trips, and unpredictable spring showers. That's why it's the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart. From top quality tires to expert service at competitive prices, we'll make sure your vehicle is ready for all your spring adventures. Visit our Fort Smith location at 9700 Highway 271 and let us prepare your ride for whatever the season brings. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. Southern Tire Mart, we keep America rolling.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at servicemasterpc.com.
Budweiser, the American lager. A time-honored recipe, true to our original process, brewed using the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt, delivering great quality beer since 1876. Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Have you heard? TGI Fridays is having happy hour Monday through Friday from 3 till 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. to close with half-price drinks and $5 select appetizers, including potato skins, spinach dip, pot stickers, and much more. Plus, you can get in on 50-cent Wing Monday from 5 p.m. to close. And karaoke on Tuesdays and Thursdays starting at 8 p.m. It's all at TGI Fridays, I-540 and Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
The 3-2 pitch. Kozel hits a high fly ball right field. He hit it deep. He hit it back. He hit it out of here. And it's a 3-run homer for Cam Kozel. He didn't just hit it out of here. He hit it way out of here. He might have hit it into his fishing lake. 5-0 Razorbacks.
So we found out earlier in the hour that Coach DeBryan has not actually fished in Lake Norm or Lake DeBryan, depending on what you call it. He saw some ducks one time, and he went back to his duck hunting days and thought about it, but held off.
Yeah. Oh, that was a fun conversation. If you haven't, if you didn't catch all of our conversation with the great Norm DeBryan, you can catch that in our Morning Rush, Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. It'll be out just a little bit later on after the show today. Brought to you by APAC and Standard Materials Group. If you're looking for top quality asphalt, rock, sand, ready mix, and anything else to get the job site going, APAC and Standard Materials Group can do that for you. Whether it's a small residential project or a large-scale commercial job, APAC has the tools to keep you covered, and no job is too big or too small. If you need expert advice, their construction consultant services ensure you're always on the right track. 479-587-3300 for all your rock, asphalt, and ready-mix needs. That's APAC and Standard Materials Group, 479-587-3300.
Got a text out of the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 479. Tommy asking about the ticket giveaways that you were talking about, the 50-plus tickets.
I think I gave all those to you, so I'm going to give you Ty's cell phone number, and all of you call Ty today for the 50 tickets. All behind home plate, of course.
Yeah. We only the best for our
way behind home plate, but yeah.
See, this is where you need the video component to know that we're, Joking around. Donnie from Darnell saying Arkansas baseball is going to win tonight, and the softball team is going to win tonight, which, by the way, they had a good outing last night, too.
Driven high in the air. Deep left field. She ties the program record. 25 home runs.
How about Bree Ellis doing what Brett Dolan just said she did? Tying the program record, 25 home runs.
And she ain't done yet.
They've got LSU these next 2 days, and then conference tournament. And we'll see what happens in the postseason as well for this Arkansas softball team that's set to probably host just like the baseball team is. If they can, again, they just need to get out of that rut. Now, it's not, again, Dave Van Horn talked about it. It's not over yet. But just to kind of, I don't know if expunge is the right word, but just to get rid of the losing, sinking feeling that they've had the last 3 weeks and now take a bit care of business one of these next 2 nights.
Hopefully we look back in 6 or however many weeks it is between now and Omaha, the middle of June and now. So we got about 6 weeks, and we say, that Texas game Thursday night, 9-0 was kind of the catalyst of turning this thing around. We don't know at this point. We don't, you lose the next 2, and then Thursday's kind of forgotten. So
don't say that, Tommy.
But let's have some fun and enjoy it now. Hopefully, about 10 o'clock tonight, we have the same emotion.
I think my favorite piece of content that the Arkansas baseball team and Hawks Plus to a certain extent put out is just the raw footage of Dave Van Horn after the game. And he initially started talking about praising Zach Root, and then he touched on a few other things.
Great job, Root. Hell the hell. Been here before. Come out tomorrow with a little more intensity, and we'll swing the bats well again tomorrow. Playing defense, turning a couple double plays, a couple of big 2-out hits today was big time. And Mac, way to come in and finish the thing up for us, man. That was great. So, hey, good job. That's one. Let's get another one tomorrow, all right? Get some rest tonight. We'll see you guys. 1 out. Everything, just push everything back 1 out. All right, see you tomorrow.
One thing that shouldn't be overlooked this week, you hear the term rest there. They get rest Tuesday. They get a chance to actually practice. Dave Van Horn talked about it. Cam Kojal and also Zach Root talked about it. Like as an entire team. They didn't split, like not just the pitchers, not just the infielders, not just the outfielders. The entire team was there apparently on Tuesday and getting a chance to stretch and stuff. Again, I don't want to act like that the series is over after just one game, one victory, because it's not. But that we talked about it maybe being a blessing, even though you wanted to get Missouri State back. Hopefully it will pan out being that this next 2 days.
Yeah. So, again, what was one of the key things Dave Van Horn said there? We've been here before. This isn't any, big wins have happened before. It's been a while for us as fans. They've been here before. He's telling them to act like it. They don't have to be told. These are really elite ball players that are basically getting into that mode where now school's going to be over soon, getting into being a pro, where you eat, sleep, and breathe baseball all day long. And they'll come back, and like I said, he was building confidence there after a very, productive night of, hey, we're going to swing the bats good again tomorrow. And he's right, the 2-out hits and the double plays really snuffed out anything Texas had going on defensively. If you haven't downloaded the Oakland Sports app, be sure and do that now. You can get in the Apple app or the Google Play Store and get in on all the action. The NBA playoffs are heating up. We're getting to conference semifinals, college baseball this weekend. Arkansas was the favorite on the Oakland app yesterday, probably are again for tonight. You can bet on that. Major League Baseball, the WNBA, hockey, golf. I was watching, when I got home last night, Live Golf was on from South Korea live on Fox Sports. So you could even get in on that. Plus $1,000 in bonus bets. New and existing customers get a 10% profit boost on 3-leg parlays. So there's a lot going on. It's the Oakland app. The Oakland Sports app. Get it now. Bet with Arkansas's best sports betting app. Bet with a brand you trust. Bet with Oakland Sports.
Let's close with the rant this morning that Randy the Plumber gave us last night on social media.
11th ranked Arkansas just got done beating the crap out of number 1 Texas. Number 1 Texas, rolling up into Fayetteville. So, we're number 1. We're the greatest that there is. We're the Texas Shorthorn, son. Nothing. They didn't just beat you. They beat the crap out of you. They whooped you like a red-headed stepchild, son. You didn't have nothing for. starting pitcher went 8 complete innings. Lights out.
Thank you, Zach Root. Thank you, Randy the plumber.
Saw 'em
Thank
all.
you, Cam Kojal. Thank you. Who hit the Carson Bowles?
Yeah.
Thank you, Arkansas baseball. Do it again
Uncle
tonight,
Blows.
fellas. Uncle Blows.
Yeah.
I still can't get over that nickname.
All right, it's been a Fastball Friday brought to you by QC Kinetix. They offer over 8 years into 50,000 different patients satisfied results. You got knee, back, hip, shoulder, or joint pain that won't go away. Your doctor said surgery, drugs, and downtime are the only way. QC Kinetix can solve the problem for you with orthobiologic treatments. 479-999-1234. They're right here in Northwest Arkansas. 999-1234 for QC Kinetix.
We call them Uncle Blows.
Perfect segue for Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Halftime coming up next.
Platinum-selling artist Tyler Farr is coming to Harrison, Arkansas at the Creekside Amp Friday, June the 20th.